All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Left Side View with Rahul and Amitabh. So, Amitabh, we are going to talk about the transfer window. It is going to slam shut tomorrow, and we've had some incredible signings. Looking forward to a bit more, some managerial changes as well. So, let's just dive right into it. And what better way than to talk about our club, Chelsea? We have made zero signings in this transfer window. So, Amitabh, what do you
Yeah,
have?
I mean, when you said there have been some incredible signings, that is the thought that popped in my head. Not for us. Um, Again, we have been particularly lackluster. And there was so much promise, and um, there is such a necessity in the club, to get new, fresh faces in. But somehow, again, as I think we have already mentioned that we have waited until the last moment to do any deal. Um, we have done absolutely nothing, zilch yet, and the constant message from Tuchel has been it has to be the right deal. I don't know what kind of deal they're looking at because every other club has been making prominent signings. Uh, I again, I'm at a loss of words, and I just hope this lack of activity does not cost us our ultimate goals for this season. Absolutely nothing here to talk about. We can move on to, I think, a club that has been pretty active in the transfer market this time around, Aston Villa. Um, they, after handing over the reins to Steven Gerrard, they have actually put a lot of faith in him and given him signings that he has desired. He's been teamed up again with his former colleague, friend, Philip Coutinho. Um, they have also signed Lucas Digne. Um, Again, yeah, I mean, there's a tinge of pain there. I mean, in December it was a pretty straightforward deal. I mean, there were reports that he'll be coming to us. That did not happen, and both have actually set the ground running in the matches that they have played. They have played well, and they have made that crucial assist or a goal. So, good transfer window for Aston Villa at least. Rahul?
Well, yeah. So not only that, I think even Callum Chambers on a free almost from Arsenal,
Yeah.
who has got such Premier League experience. He can start. He can, and the fact is his versatility. He can play at right back, centre back, central midfielder. So yeah, I think we've got to talk about when we talk about the top movers and shakers, especially in the Premier League. We've got to talk about Aston Villa. Other than that, some clubs or some players that didn't really, some deals that didn't really happen, at least in terms of Premier League deals. So we've got to talk about Tottenham Hotspur. Wow, what a shambles of a club! What a mess of a club! I mean, there were rumors that they were going to sign someone like Luis Diaz. There were rumors that they were going to sign Adama Traore, but lo and behold, Adama Traore is on his way to Barcelona, and Luis Diaz is on his way to Liverpool. Not signed even a single player, and on top of that, even the fact that they were looking to move on someone like Ndombele to PSG, even that hasn't really happened. I think that has broken down. Dele Alli is still at the club. Uh, but even someone like Giovanni Lo Celso, I think he could be on his way to Valencia. I think they are interested in signing him on loan till the end of the season. Even someone like Brian Hill, they want to sign till the end of loan. They're not able to sign players. They're not able to get rid of players. And now they're being linked to Dejan Kulusevski of Juventus. Fabrizio Romano's already said, "Here we go." So yeah, it does look like that one's at last going to happen. They're also being linked with someone like Arthur Bentancur. Rodrigo Bentancur. Uh, he was previously being linked with Aston Villa, but let's see if they can actually get that deal done. So yeah.
Yeah, again, Spurs have this habit of, you know, um, goofing it all up at the 11th hour. Maybe it's just bad management, or maybe it's just unfortunate bad luck. But I mean, they were linked to Traore, and then they were linked to Diaz, and today the Diaz deal is confirmed, and the Traore deal has already been confirmed. So they are definitely not going to Spurs. Um, I think this is the transfer window where Antonio Conte will still, um, I mean, he'll take it with a pinch of salt. He'll still go on. But if the same happens in the summer transfer window, I think he'll walk away. So yeah, we'll talk about it when that happens, if that happens.
Before we move on, actually, with that, so but I kind
Yes.
of have a feeling that a lot of the blame, in a way, rests on Fabio Paritici's shoulders. I don't really think he's done a good job ever since he's come in as the director of football. I think most of his decisions, uh, like hit and miss, his decisions have been miss mostly. I think.
Yeah, so I mean, in the current structure that clubs follow, the sporting director, technical director, whatever you call him,
Mhm.
a lot of responsibility rests on his shoulder to get the transfers done. Of course, we'll have suggestions from the scouts and the manager, the coach, everyone, but the onus is on them to get the deal over the line. And then the reality also is that, see, even if you and I were a player, if you have Spurs coming for you and you have Liverpool coming for you or Barcelona coming for you, 80 to 90% will not choose Spurs. Let's put it mildly. So that is just the fact. And yeah, maybe that is why Conte is there to attract top players and to, take Spurs to the next level. So it's not going to be easy. Again, it's not going to be easy, but yeah, let's see. Again, every coach in the world talks about the project, and this is just the first part of first phase of the project at Spurs. So all that to attract top players. I mean, to be dead honest, I don't think even we are there in terms of attracting the absolute elite talent, and Spurs are definitely behind us. So yeah, that is the way it goes. Another club that we would like to talk about definitely is Newcastle. With the recent takeover, they have signed Trippier and Wood and Gumares today. So I just hope that I mean they survived the relegation battle. No special affinity towards them, but I think right now they have the resources and they'll be okay. And then we actually will see what the real deal is in the summer transfer window with respect to them. Your views on Newcastle, Rahul?
I think Chris Wood, I think, makes sense in a way. We've talked about him before. Kieran Trippier again, an English player, so yeah, for him to come back to the Premier League makes sense. But then the steal would be Bruno Guimaraes. I think 24 years old, playing for Leon, and it's been clear, at least since the beginning of this season, that he's someone who is destined for bigger things. So it's his signing actually that makes heads turn in a way. I mean, someone like even Arsenal were linked with him very strongly, and again, someone who could actually make a difference to Arsenal's midfield, especially when their two midfielders, Partey and Xhaka, they're competing with each other, to take a red card and then miss out on playing. So, yeah, Gimaresh, I think that's a coup in a way. That's a signing that we should all look forward to. Other than that, yeah, they're actually being linked with someone like Diego Carlos as well of Sevilla. So Sevilla, they could actually lose both their centre backs, Diego Carlos to Newcastle and Jules Koundé to Chelsea. So none of the deals have gone through yet. Uh, I think even Sevilla's director Monchi said that the offer was good, like in terms of at least money, but they just don't have enough time to find a replacement for someone like Diego Carlos. Even the player wanted to leave. So that's three deals over the line. Let's see if they can get any more done. But yes, like we expected this to happen. Obviously, they've got all the money in the world. So, yeah.
Yeah, coming back to the top of the league, City, Torres left for Barcelona, but they have signed Alvarez from South America, again, up and coming striker. And Liverpool, again, as we said, that the signing of Diaz is over the line. So, again, with the front three, um, Salah, Mane, and Firmino, all of the same age and, pushing 30 now. I think this is the next generation. Diego Jota already there, performing well. Now Diaz is coming in. So yeah, Liverpool are freshening up the squad and looking at the succession plan as well. This will also give them a little bit of leverage when it comes to contract renewals, especially for Salah and Mane. Um, if push comes to shove, maybe they are in a better position now to let one of them go, maybe cash in. So, but I think their contracts end in June, so cash in is not an option, but at least let them go. So again, they have also strengthened the squad. Um, Again, I think both City and they did not need to do a lot in terms of transfers and stuff. But yeah, whatever purchases they've made sense for the team. Your views on City and Liverpool, Rob?
I think, yeah, like you said, the City, they are scoring goals, top of the league without a striker. And why would you change something that's clearly working? Liverpool, yeah, it makes sense. They're the ones who are chasing Manchester City. So it's the onus is on them to do these moves so that they can compete and even overtake Manchester City. Same with Chelsea. So yes, for them, signing someone like Luis Diaz makes a lot of sense. Like you talked about the fact that even Salah and Mane's contract I think expire June of 2023. So yes, it'll give them a leverage as well, just in case they are not able to agree a renewal with either of these players. Whereas with City, it's just so straightforward and so methodical. Even Julian Alvarez strongly linked, with so many big clubs. I think even Liverpool or even Manchester City, even so for him to sign for Manchester City, I think it's a good deal for Manchester City. I think not a lot of money also. I mean, I know he's just 2021, but then if he comes in and he starts banging in goals, then 18 to 20 million euros, it's just peanuts, I guess, at this point in time for a top striker. And again, we talked about this before that with the chances that City create, they don't even need the best striker in the world. Even a decent striker would do. Like even someone like a Danny Ings would score 20 goals because of the number of chances that he will get, the number of chances that City create. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
But I think they'll go for the best striker pretty soon. Haaland.
yeah.
Okay, so there have been a couple of managerial changes as well. Watford sacked Ranieri. They have replaced him with the grand old man of football, Roy Hodgson, and Everton let go of Benitez, and now the offer has been made to Lampard. Again, no conclusive reports are out yet whether he has accepted or not, but in all likelihood, he will be their next coach. And with this deal, something that I've heard is Ruben Loftus-Cheek going to Everton till the end of the season on a loan. Maybe Ross Barkley as well. Again, so no ins for us and maybe a couple of outs. Your views on both the managerial changes, Raul?
I think for Watford it makes sense. I think Roy Hodgson is someone who has been there and done that kind of guy, especially in terms of relegation battles. But then it's so tight right now, like four clubs, and out of which three are going to go down, like no matter what anyone says. So Burnley, Newcastle, Watford, Norwich. So um, I think I have a feeling that Norwich will still go down. In a way they have peaked under Dean Smith. So these results that they've had recently, wherein they're out of the relegation zone, I think that's them peaking. But now with the signings and changes, for instance, Newcastle making all these moves in January, Burnley also looking to replace someone like Chris Wood with Wout Weghorst. I think he's someone who's 6'6", so similar mold of a striker as Chris Wood. Uh, Even Watford, someone signing someone like Roy Hodgson, who's going to make them defensively solid. So I think in a way the onus again falls on someone like Norwich to counter what these three teams have done. Let's see.
Yeah, so do you think Watford will like have their fourth manager before the end of the season?
I don't actually, and like I said, like even if they do, I mean, we talk about Chelsea and Chelsea's hierarchy being trigger happy when it comes to managers, but then I think Watford have actually overtaken Chelsea in terms of doing that. So, but that's the thing, like who can you replace Hodgson with when you're in a relegation zone? If Roy Hodgson cannot get you out of the relegation zone, I don't really think anyone can. So that's my problem. Like they can replace 100 managers, they can replace the manager 100 times till from now till the end of the season, but I don't think that they'll get anyone better. Maybe Sam Allardyce. I don't know. I mean, yeah, but then,
Yeah. But now I think even he has been relegated once, so
yeah,
he does not have that 100% record anymore.
exactly.
And coming back to Lampard, another thing that I've read is maybe he'll go for our coach. I again don't recall his name.
Joe Edwards and Anthony
And
Barry.
Yeah, Anthony Barry. Yeah. So, and Tuchel has like categorically stated that he does not want the coaches to move or to leave the club. Let's see if how that turns out. Anything else you'd like to talk about in the Premier League?
So I have a feeling that it's Joe Edwards who could leave. I don't think that Anthony Barry will leave. I think he's someone who's also assisting the Ireland national team because he's also Irish, so he's also in the coaching staff of the national team. Other than that, we've heard him speak about Tuchel since Lampard left that he's had offers to manage himself, like to manage a club himself, be the head coach, but he didn't leave because of Tuchel. So yes, he joined when Lampard was at Chelsea, but he has stayed because of Tuchel. I still feel like he's not going to leave. He has been very, uh, his influence has been very much prevalent in the way we defend. He has made a lot of improvement to our set pieces. I'm not really sure. I mean, again, like if if these two guys leaves, if these two guys leave, then I would be more worried about Anthony Barry's departure than I would be about Joe Edwards. But let's see. And yes, since you asked me if I want to talk about anyone else, I think we've got to talk about Arsenal. They were also linked with so many players, but it's 30th of January. They have not signed anyone. We can probably say that yes, they were being linked to Vlahovic, but then Vlahovic was never a practical solution for Arsenal. Like at least that's what I think. Like he's someone who was already in the ilk of someone like Haaland. So yeah, I never thought that he would like he was never a realistic target for Arsenal for a club like Arsenal right now, in my opinion. But yeah, they were also being linked very strongly with someone like Arthur of Juventus or even Kulusevski of Juventus. But yeah, not really able to sign any of those players. Yeah, I think that's it when it comes to the Premier League.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on to the Bundesliga. No transfers here as such of note. Yes, Ricardo Pepi went to Freiburg, but
Augsburg,
that's was
Augsburg,
Freiburg.
Augsburg.
Osborne.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think the biggest noise here was about the transfer that did not happen, or maybe that will happen in the summer. Erling Haaland. So again, to and fro between the player and the club. Obviously, Dortmund want to pin him down to a contract, or at least know what is going on in his mind, so that they can, get more than 75 million on their investment. And Team Haaland, and as I mean, to quote Haaland, he is the CEO of his future. So they are not ready to make a decision yet. They're saying that they'll decide about it in the summer. Right now, he just wants to concentrate, especially with the injury and stuff. Yeah, maybe. But again, no concrete development here, but definitely a lot of noise. Your views here?
I think like you can say that both are wrong in a way. Like obviously, I understand with Haaland, he's a player who just wants to focus on his game. At the same time, I understand why Dortmund are doing it because they want to know if he's going to stay or not. Because if he's going to stay, then they don't need to sign anyone. But if he's going to leave, then they also need to find the next Haaland. Uh, because obviously they are not really a club who can spend 100 million pounds. They will again spend 10, 20 million pounds on some on unearthing a gem, and then that player can become the next Haaland. So yes, they need to find a replacement for Haaland if he's going to leave. So I understand why they're also doing.
Yeah, but again, the point here is I'm sure they are already looking for the next big thing. I mean, it will not be when Haaland tells them his particular timeline when he intends to move, then they'll start looking for the new player. But basically, it's all about money. They just want more than 75. And definitely, if it is in a free market, in ideal conditions, Haaland is worth close to 200 at least. So, yeah, both the parties looking out for themselves, which is absolutely okay. Moving on to La Liga, Barcelona have made some signings, and now with certain exits as well, they have been able to register players. Umtiti took a pay cut, so that has also helped. Ferran Torres has joined the club, and Adama Traore has joined the club from Wolves on a loan, and now they are being linked to Alvaro Morata. He may be deemed surplus to requirement with Vlahovic to Juventus now. So again, we still have 24 and a bit hours. So let's see how all this develops. Um, Xavi again, just like Steven Gerrard, the club, the authorities have like given him the backing. Whatever constraints there are financially, they are sort of giving him the players that he would like. Especially players with pace, with a level of technicality, the kind of players that he wants. So yeah, maybe the results will be better for them now. Maybe it will not be as patchy as it has been. Your views, Rahul?
I think I've been saying this even though I don't want to, that Barca are not as bad as people think, especially with players coming back from injury, especially with the appointment of Javi and now all these signings. I mean, obviously they've signed someone like Adama Traore, who was in their academy, La Masia, uh, before he left to join Middlesbrough, from where he joined Wolves. Even Ferran Torres, I think he always wanted to maybe go back to Spain. Other than that, I think there could actually be a departure as well. Someone like Ousmane Dembele could leave, who is available to leave on a free in the summer, but maybe they want to get rid of him right now so that they can maybe register the players that they have signed. I mean, uh, Ferran Torres has already played for them. He has been registered, but not too sure about Adama Traore. Uh, because yeah, Dembele is not really someone who wants to, let's say, take a pay cut or because of his injury record. I know, like, I mean, obviously, like you said, he's looking out for himself. He feels that even though he has been injured so much, but he still feels that if he can stay fit, then he's a game changer, which maybe he is. But again, is anyone going to take a risk on him? But yeah, it's just him backing himself, which also makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I don't know, somehow I mean, reality has to set in at some level, confidence is a good thing, overconfidence is not. Um, he has not been able to showcase, even 50% of his talent while at his time at Barcelona. So, okay, that is okay. Someone having high hopes of himself, that is perfectly fine. No link up to any player for Real Madrid, no transfer activity for them, ins or out. The team chasing them, Sevilla, they have brought in Anthony Martial. There was a lot of sorry discussions going on. Then we heard that the deal has collapsed. Then again, somehow it was renegotiated, and right now the loan deal has been completed till the end of the season. Um, Again, as we have said that they may be losing two of their defenders, and now they've got an attacking player. Yes, they are definitely missing goals. Let's see how this deal turns out. The fact of the matter is, Martial just did not want to play for United anymore. So I think it is good for both the parties. And in fact, all three parties, even United, will be happy that he is temporarily off their books right now. How do you see this one going, Rahul? Do you think that Marshall will have an impact in the
I
title
think
race?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, on top of that, they've also signed someone like Jesus Corona from Porto. But again, like we talked about earlier, I mean, I see these players making a difference, but do I see them winning the league? I'm not sure. Like again, the Joker's thing is still there. They've choked in the big matches. I mean, otherwise the difference would have been like 2 points right now. It's still, I think, 4 or 5. So that's the thing. Atletico have replaced Kieran Trippier with Daniel Vaz from Valencia, and they've also signed Renildo, I think, a left back from Lille. So yes, they've also made a couple of moves in the transfer window. Other than that, some moves that Valencia are being linked with, I think, Giovanni Lo Celso of Tottenham, or even Brian Hill of Tottenham. Uh, I mean, they even wanted someone like Donny van de Beek, I think, but Donny van de Beek is on his way to maybe Crystal Palace, or maybe now that Lampard has joined Everton, maybe they're also looking to sign him. But yeah, not really much to talk about, I think, in La Liga or Bundesliga, in my opinion. But yeah, even France, I think maybe we can talk about just one signing, in my opinion. I think or rather a departure, which is Bruno Guimaraes to Newcastle. So Lyon are actually looking to replace Bruno Guimaraes with Roman Favre, I think, from Brest. So yeah, I think they sold him for 40 million euros and now replace him with 15 million euros. So a profit of 25 million euros. PSG not really able to sign anyone. Maybe they wanted to sign someone like Ndombele, but yeah, they can actually look to get rid of players. But again, it's just so difficult because at PSG players are on such high wages that nobody wants to leave. But yeah, now we can actually talk about the league wherein we've actually seen some of the biggest moves, which is Serie A. So yeah, we've got to talk about, like, there's no other place to start than Juventus. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, you asked me, can Juventus actually afford to sign Dusan Vlahovic? And I said that yes and no, because I said that they could look to sign him, but then for that to happen, he has to stay till his contract expires. But lo and behold, he has actually signed for them now for a 75 million euros deal, which I'm not really sure where they're getting this money from, but somehow.
Yeah, exactly my point. Financial trouble, what financial trouble? And they're now being linked to Zakaria as well, I guess. So again, I think this will really solidify their position in the top four. I just see Vlahovic, hitting the ground right from the first match, and yeah, I mean, now that Morata is supposed to requirement, maybe they'll get him off the books. Let's see how they maneuver this, but a great winter transfer window for Juventus. Even if no players come in right now, I think this one deal of the transfer window, I think it will have a huge impact on the ultimate outcome of the top four, at least in Serie A. Raul?
Yeah, we were talking about, what if he leaves Fiorentina to join Juventus. We've seen, things like a rivalry between these two clubs already. Even when Roberto Baggio left, even Federico Chiesa left. So yeah, we've seen this, and again, that didn't really stop Juventus, from going after Vlahovic. Maybe he wanted to stay in Italy. Maybe he had his heart set on moving to Juventus. So yeah, like you said, even someone like Dennis Zakaria could come in, and then maybe they could get rid of someone like Arthur or Bentancur. But yes, in a way, now, like, finally they have replaced someone like Ronaldo. I mean, Moise Kean was never supposed to be. And even when you talk about Morata, I personally don't think he's going to leave because Chiesa is out for the rest of the season. If Chiesa was fit, then maybe Morata could leave. But I think right now they still need someone like Morata. But let's see. Like, I won't be surprised if he leaves, but at the same time, I won't be surprised if he stays. I think Inter Milan, they've signed actually a couple of strikers. They've signed a couple of players. One is Felipe Caicedo, the former Lazio guy. Not really sure where he was, but yeah, he was still in Italy. So he's gonna be what? I think their fifth choice striker. They've got Lautaro Martinez. They've got Edin Dzeko. They've got Joaquin Correa that they just signed in the summer. And they've also got Alexis Sanchez. So now Felipe Caicedo is the fifth choice striker. They've got such a huge squad. On top of that, even Perisic's contract is going to expire in the summer, so they haven't really waited till the summer. They've actually looked to replace him right now. They are already signed Robin Gosens. Wow, like one of the best wing backs in Serie A, and they've signed him. Anything that you want to talk about, Inter?
No, they just like strengthening their squad for the challenge that is, coming their way, especially with the Champions League. Liverpool, they are facing Liverpool in the round of 16, and it is always nice to see clubs who are on the top, freshening up the squad. It just shows the seriousness that they are in it to win it. Again, so good work for Inter. Not really happy with AC Milan, the kind of, or rather the lack of deals there. They are really in need of at least a striker with pace. Unfortunately, that did not. I think in the top 7-8 teams, I think Milan has done the least business. We can say that. Even Roma has brought in a couple of players. Napoli have brought in a couple of players. So let's see how it turns out and what kind of impact it has. Yeah, good for Inter.
Yeah, I think even Lazio, they haven't really done anything, but the two clubs that have, which is Atlanta, they've not really a direct replacement, but yes, they've signed Jeremy Boga finally. I mean, this deal was supposed to happen a month ago, but then I think he went to African Cup of Nations. So yeah, it took a while for that deal to be announced. So yeah, he's finally joined Atlanta. Uh, Other than that, I think it's a good deal. I mean, obviously, Robin Gosens, one of the best wing backs in Serie A, but then they have been playing without him for 2 3 months now, and he's still injured. He's probably going to come back at the end of February. So they've been managing without him with Davide Zappacosta or Joachim Male. So Jeremy Boga adds another layer to their already strong squad. But then there's one team that we've got to talk about is Fiorentina. I think because yeah, like everyone's got to think how they are going to do after the departure of Dusan Vlahovic. So we talked about them before that they've already signed someone like Jonathan Ikone and Christoph Piontek. Maybe if Christoph Piontek can get back to his best, the form that actually earned him a move initially from Genoa to Milan, maybe it won't be a big deal. On top of that, they've signed someone like Arthur Cabral, a Brazilian striker who has been playing, I think, in Champions League or Europa League for FC Basel, the club that Mohamed Salah actually played for when he left when he joined Chelsea. So if this guy can also, from Swiss league replicate the same form in Serie A, then again people will not really talk about Dusan Vlahovic much. But yeah, uh, I think we've got to talk about Fiorentina, who probably one of the biggest movers and shakers in terms of the deals that they've done, in terms of the money that they got for Vlahovic. Yeah. Anything else that you want to talk about here, Amita?
Yeah, basically Fiorentina knew that Vlahovic would not stay there, so they had started, preparing for his exit with Piontek in the summer, and now they've signed another striker. So the question now is, right now, with the current squads, and I know there is 24 and a bit hours left, and I definitely foresee a lot of loan deals happening. How do you see the top four panning out in the Italian Serie A?
I probably would hold off on answering that. Like you said, that maybe once we actually review the entire transfer window, like in our next episode, once the entire transfer window is done, maybe then we can give our predictions and see, if we see any major changes in the table, be it Serie A or Premier League or any other.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's about it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. We'll be back with another episode after the transfer window ends, and we'll review all the transfers that has happened in the January transfer window. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.
All right, guys.